Hello everyone, I'm Leslie Cornwell, Certified Nurse Midwife with Empowering Midwifery Education. This section has to do with marketing project management. Legal disclaimer we put at the beginning of all of our presentations. This information is for general and educational use only. Content not intended to substitute for professional, legal, or clinical advice. We strive to keep our information as accurately and timely as possible, but make no promises and guarantees it works for your unique situation. The students will be able to verbalize exactly what is a marketing project management, campaign, purpose, why do you have it. They'll be able to verbalize the 5 distinct stages that are part of making marketing projects. They'll be able to verbalize the steps and the specific methodology involved in creating marketing projects. They'll be able to verbalize the 5 steps to create top-notch marketing campaigns for their ideal clients to be attracted to them. This topic is really important because I think too many times midwives, business owners, birth workers, we tend to just organically think our marketing is going to happen. We're so amazing. Our outcomes are so great. Our friends are going to rave about us. Our clients are going to rave about us. Yes, they will, but that's going to take time. That's an organic way. There are so many other wonderful ways to market your practice, to get your ideal client sent to your way, to get to your practice volume faster so you can meet your overhead and make your profits faster and support the team and the growth that you want to have. So having a strategic plan around marketing is so important, not just to get a lot of clients your direction, but the ideal clients, and be cost effective with your marketing budgets and where you're putting the money. Is it working? Who's coming to you because of what you're doing? You got to be able to track those things. So you want to be able to have someone on your team that can help and can manage a lot of the marketing campaigns, the projects you're going to work on, paying for things, focusing on different areas, and seeing if they're working or not working. Have regular conversations. Just like you have quality meetings, you have staff meetings, you should have marketing meetings just as much as everything else. So a marketing campaign project has to do with the process of planning, overseeing, and delivering marketing related projects to your clients. The framework is putting together having the person on your team, whether it's your office manager, it's the midwife director, or your team is large enough you have your own direct marketer. They're the one that puts together all the tools, the resources, the implementation, and seeing what is working to bring the ideal clients, expansion of service line, and brand you want out there. So let's get to the basics. What exactly is marketing project management? It's a complete high-level administration role to focus on how are your marketing campaigns working. You put 2 campaigns out on Facebook side by side. Which one's getting more engagement? Which one is connecting to people, getting shared, getting clients calling your office because they quote that they saw this specific post over another? What email campaigns are getting people's pain points and answering questions well? How is your website set up? How is the SEO reports each month? You should be increasing your ranking on the search engines. You should be higher than your competitors in springboarding off what they're using for SEO. There's specific guidelines in different areas with social media, with websites, with SEO, with community networking, patient surveys, referral programs. The list can go on and on. Sometimes it can get a bit overwhelming because people think, well, if I put more money towards budget in marketing, I'm just going to get more clients. But if you don't know what works for your industry and what is the best way to get your own clients, that's why it's really important to hire an expert marketer that really understands your industry. So what are the 5 distinct stages of marketing projects? First, you want to conduct the research. You want to learn, what are your competitors doing? What do your ideal clients look like? How do you find them? Where are they at? Maybe you need to talk to different chiropractors, childbirth educators, doulas, naturopaths, private practice OBs, and pediatricians and family practice physicians, and find out what their clients are looking for. Do a direct monkey survey, go to Facebook groups, go to social media, and ask questions to these young families. There's great natural chit chat groups. There's already moms that are having home births, and they're going to be friends with the people that are future going to have whatever your market service is. And you want to learn, what are they looking for? What are they frustrated with a bigger system? How can you fill that need based on your mission and goals? Two, you want to put in strategic marketing campaigns that are specific to who you want to send your way, where do you want your sales to go, how many clients you want to have, how many patient visits you want to do, what service line do you want to grow and expand. So you can add another midwife on your team, you can add a nurse practitioner specialist, you can expand to a team versus a solo. Like, what are your goals and how are you going to get there based on revenue coming in from sales, from new clients, from deliveries, from improving the service line and how you're attracting people and making higher conversion rates. So you want to launch the campaign, you want to set goals, you want to follow up with it, you want to see what's working, what's not working. You want to track your measuring results. My goal was to get X amount of clients, X amount of calls. These are the different marketing campaigns we did. I always stress to people, give it 3 to 6 months of starting something. If you just put a newspaper ad out one time, you do one thing, you're not going to know if it actually worked or not. You need some statistics, you need some regular intervals. So you have to measure the results. You have to be patient with paying minimum 3 to 6 months for any marketing campaign to see if you're getting the results you want to get. It's great to do those A/B testing where you're literally putting two campaigns out that are slightly different and seeing which one's attracting your ideal clients better, which one's getting higher engagement, which one's for the best bang for the buck with your Google ads, your Facebook ads, the things you're paying for, how many people are calling you. So when they come in for their new client first visit, asking them, how did you hear about our practice? My sister delivered with you. I saw your ad on Facebook. I went to your midwife open house. I saw you guys at an expo. My primary care doctor loves you and raves about your amazing services. You want to know how your clients found you so you can reinvest and focus. If you're getting a good chunk of your amazing ideal clients from one certain marketing campaign, reuse that and expand on that. You want to make sure you're optimizing, you're improving based on your findings, based on what's happening, because eventually you're going to get rock solid. You're going to get a really good marketing campaign based on your unique needs and who you want to attract to the practice. So then your marketing budget can get you the most clients for the least amount of overhead cost. So what are the steps when thinking about creating a marketing project as far as management and the steps? You want to look at the progress. You want to look at the starting phase from plan to implementation to follow through. Are you producing the results you were hoping to get? If not, do you need more time with that marketing campaign? Do you need to invest more money in it? Do you need to pivot? Breaking down your marketing campaigns into tangible, manageable budgets is so important. You want to have little pieces and chunks and multitask and scheduling things. Like maybe you do weekly blog posts, but you make 12 of them all at once and you schedule them out for the next 3 months. You have a monthly email campaign, but you make the next 3 months in a group section for you to have to remember that's tomorrow is the first of the month. I got to quickly make this email campaign because it'll have a smoother flow to it and consistency. Maybe scheduling Facebook posts, you're going to use Hootsuite and a platform that you can schedule them out farther. You can use it for Twitter, for LinkedIn, for all these other social media platforms, not just Facebook and Instagram. So you're going to learn about these tools you can leverage and help make you efficient and have a consistent branding trends, because you don't want to make it look scattered like, oh gosh, she used that same stock picture 3 times in a row. She just posted that 3 times and there was typos and there was mistakes. You want to get crisp, professional, and really show you're the best of the best to the clients you're trying to send your way. You want to make sure your projects are looking at the bigger picture, your branding, your mission, your focus. Not that you just learned about some random niche service you think it's neat and cool or a fun fact out there. If it doesn't pertain to your ideal clients and who you want to attract your way, the consumers get confused of who you actually want to serve. So you have to think very strategically of how you're putting out things. There's so many trainings out there for social media and how you schedule things and testimonials and education and advocacy and bragging about your resources and selling products and services. There's a very specific calendar rotation you do for those things. And so you want to look at the bigger picture. You want a consistent theme and flow and style between all the things you're working on so they don't feel disconnected and confused. Because if your client's confused, they're going to think your midwifery care is going to be subpar and they're going to be confused. What do you offer and what do you do actually? You want to have a team approach. You want to leverage the people around you, the receptionist, the common questions they get on the phone. Maybe you need to do some blog posts and some additional questions out there because people aren't understanding who you are, how you serve, how much it costs, what's covered, what's not covered, because that's a lot of time for the receptionist to answer those questions. And maybe they're going to assume the wrong thing because it wasn't a clear, concise branding campaign for your goals. So you have to work as a team. You have to follow up on things. It's so important. So there's very key concepts to making the best of the best marketing projects for your practice. You really want to think of that clear, consistent marketing strategy. Who do I serve? What is my vision? What are my goals? How do I track to that ideal client to me? I want you to be very detailed who that person is. What are the targets? I want to have a waiting list by 3 months. I just opened my practice. I want to add a partner in 6 months. I have been doing OB services forever. I want to start doing more well woman care. I got this really cool certification for pelvic floor therapy, for menopause, and I want to expand a service line we haven't been offering before. What do you want to do? Where do you want to go? And how are you going to get there? How are you going to get a smooth transition of your services so people don't think, well, you started adding this pelvic floor stuff. Maybe there's rumors spreading you don't do births anymore, but you want to make sure you're clear, you're adding, you're not replacing services, you're expanding your team, you've got all these great experts, you still got the same consistent high quality, it's just a different service line. So you really want to know your team skill sets and where they're seeing is the challenge and the need in the community, and you want to talk to your audience. You want to learn the challenges that your ideal clients are facing and how do you fill that and show clearly you're filling that to the community with your marketing campaigns. So you want to think about how do you list all the different ways you can get out there. List everything, creatively brainstorm. I have a different presentation about 50 ways to market a midwife. So stretch the envelope, think about it. Community outreach programs, referrals, raffles, goodies, flyers, brochures, websites, interviews, midwife meetings, educational meet and greets, free consults, referral programs, like the list goes on and on and on. You have to just decide what makes the most sense to focus on and where you're more likely going to find your ideal client. So the SMART goals is a really cool acronym to think about setting goals. How do you accomplish them? What are the numbers you're trying to accomplish? How do you get branding awareness purposefully with your logo, your color scheme, your feel, your mission, the emotions behind your practice? Some of it's going to be organic from your clients you serve, but you also want to be purposeful that you are also putting some of that branding out there. So you want to increase your people talking about you, they're sharing things, you're hot, quote unquote, off the press, you're on news, everywhere they look, they're seeing your ads, they're seeing your articles, you're seeing people sharing, they're telling stories about delivering with your practice. You want to give them over and over again that feeling of, holy cow, this is a hot place, this is the practice I want to be seen when I get pregnant or I am pregnant, I want to transfer, I need to figure out how to become a client because there is just such amazing things out there being said. So the SMART goals makes it specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and timely. So you don't want to be making goals for 2 years from now. The next 3 months, what do we want to do? How are we going to accomplish it? What are realistic based on our team and our resources and our budgets that we can accomplish to make progress? I've heard a lot of great quotes from business mentors. Your practice is either growing or shrinking. It never stays the same. So if you are not intentional of your improving processes, marketing campaigns, helping your team grow, and you're just going in a routine, you're going to continue to shrink. You're not going to keep expanding, and you're not going to go the direction you want to go because you're not controlling. So you want to delegate to people on your team the different skills. Maybe you have to outsource certain parts of marketing because marketing is a lot. Maybe one person is really good at making a beautiful website, but they're terrible at the SEO and the analytics and the backdrop backlinking and all the things that are needed for Yahoo, Bing, and Google to communicate with your website so people will find you certain keywords that need to be known. Someone with social media management may have very different skill sets than copywriting, blog posts, email campaigns. Community networking may be a different person on your team, and you can hire and outsource online for somebody else. So you want to make sure you're finding people to join your team. Maybe it's your birth assistant has a unique skill, your midwife apprentice, your receptionist, your office manager. They're all taking different parts of the marketing campaigns and have a regular, consistent obligation to the success of different parts of it. So you want to make sure you're breaking things down, delegating timeline accountability, following through with things. So you want to have a strategic plan for marketing, implementation, follow through, check and balance systems, reviewing it, making sure there's no errors, things are getting scheduled and put out there so you're not having odd gaps in your social media where it just looks more confusing. You do a ton of blog posts and then you don't do blog posts for a while. It's almost worse than just slow and steady wins the race. Figure out what's realistic for your team and how much time it's going to take to do those things. And there's a good follow-up plan to every week, once a month, get a checklist, have a central. Canva has some really good stuff. Asana has some really good stuff. You can do some great project team things and check and balance and sharing files with each other. So you want to recognize your parameters and resources, meaning if you have a $200 budget, you're not going to be able to do nearly as much for your marketing campaigns as someone else that has a $2,000 budget. A home birth practice is going to have very different parameters than a birth center, a women's health clinic, a solo midwife versus a team of midwives versus I want to have 2 clients a month. I want our practice to have 20 clients a month. Your budgets, your timeline, your expectations and marketing campaigns are going to be very specific based on your goals and needs. And you have to be realistic of not I can spend $2,000 this month and really do a bunch of stuff, but then pay a little bit. You might as well have not wasted your time. Have a realistic budget. Most home birth midwives I tell $500 to $700. Birth centers we tell closer to $800 to $1,200 when they're starting out, and your marketing campaigns and budget should grow as your practice is growing. You want to make sure you set parameters, realistic expectations, slow and steady wins the race, monitor, review them, what's working, what's not working, where do we need to pivot in our marketing budget? We're putting too much money here and no clients the last 3 to 6 months have said they noticed this campaign. Let's stop it, let's pivot, let's try something different. There's a lot of things you can do out there that are free and time consuming and have big impact, but then you're still paying and you're still committing your time to do it, or you can put a little money towards something, but you have to think about what has the highest return on investment, reaches the most to your ideal clients, because each client is worth $4,000 to $6,000 on average. So you really want to be strategic and conscientious that every extra client we want to have is coming our direction. You want to make sure everybody's on the same page. If you think our mission and our branding and vision and ideal client is XYZ, but then the receptionist has a different perception, bias, wants other people to come to your practice that you really don't want to take care of, you need to get every staff member, your marketer, clear, concise vision of who's our ideal client, what's our mission, what's our branding, and when everybody talks to them across the stages of the service line, are we all on the same page? Because you're going to get some confusion if you have midwives that have different styles of who the ideal client is and how they're going to serve them. Your branding style is going to get confusing. The marketing campaigns are going to get confusing. So you really have to have a consistent flow on everybody. Like the person doing your social media is using the same color scheme and branding style as the person on the website and the person doing the email campaigns. So you want to have a consistent conversation with the clients, and you want to have a consistent branding campaign in all these other areas if you're breaking it up to people. So you want to think about the big picture, you want to clarify specific rules, make a project calendar and a launch date and motivation and positive reinforcement, and make progress. Slow and steady really does win the race. So just as a summary, marketing is one of the most important things that any midwifery practice, birth worker, small business owner should be doing. You should budget for it. You should be strategic about it. You don't realize the ripple effect of 1, getting no clients, 2, getting the wrong kind of clients, your direction, and all the things that happens with risk and all the extra phone calls of people curious, but they're not really a good fit for you. You want to make sure you're getting every day nonstop calls from your ideal clients that you are just high as a kite when they call, and they're your repeat clients. They're a certain age, they're a certain demographics, they're a certain philosophy of how they view birth. Like, what do you want and how do you bring that person to you? And get really creative, because you can't just Google search and say, how do you create a midwife marketing campaign? Each person's An Amish home birth practice is going to have a different marketing campaign than a big birth center that's a nonprofit in downtown Chicago. And so you have to learn your community, you have to learn what your needs are, and really challenge yourself to have an accurate marketing budget, marketing campaigns, accountability, follow up with those various projects so that you are getting the best marketing campaigns for your needs.